Habari ya jioni, Wakenza wenzangu. Today is a Tuesday, and I'm very, very much glad to have with me my friend Ayaga and my brother Miguda. Habari zenyu? Ayaga, habari gani?
Uh, Niko poa kabisa ndugu yangu. How are you guys? I'm seeing my friend Miguda is very well okay and ready for today's show. How are you, Miguda?
I'm very much okay, Ayaga. Thank you. God bless you for that. Seeing me, Brother Benson. How are you over there?
We are managing. We complain. I cannot complain. Yes. So
Huku Kenya ndio maneno imekuwa ngori mbaya sana.
vitu zitakuwa sawa. Kuna siku mambo itakuwa sawa. The day is coming when things will be okay. So maybe before we go to the main discussion of today, there's a PG for ODM that is coming very soon, and it will be chaired by the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga. And we don't know the reason why, but among other things, I saw there was the issue of Uhuru Ruto handshake is going to be part of the discussion. To start with you, Ayaga, what is your take on that?
Yeah, I also get the wind of the PG. But
Yeah.
the PG is not much about there's Uru's handshake with the William Ruto is part of it, but part of it there are some bandits that are arguing that maybe Baba may sense defeat, so he want how to if he fail to capture the AU seat,
Yeah.
he is looking for a soft ground to land on.
Yeah.
So let us wait and see. It is a wait and see game because these are just political speculations. Because if you go by the words of Raila Odinga, it is Uhuru Kenyatta who sent him to William Ruto before he called William Ruto. William Ruto reached out for him.
Yeah.
Then they were in this deal all along. So I don't think if that is a handshake between Uhuru and Ruto is for meant to dim the stars of ODM in the so-called broad-based government. I think it is just but politics changes as time goes by. It's a dynamic, so maybe there are new things that has popped up. But it is a game of wait and see if how it will end.
Okay.
Benson.
Thank you so much. Miguda, what is your take on the PG, the upcoming PG for the Orange Democratic Movement?
Orange Democratic Movement going to have a PG led by their party leader Raila Odinga.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that it is not all about Uhuru shaking hands with Ruto, or it's not about. In my view, I believe it's just about there is new development in the political sphere of the country, and Raila must use that capacity to engage the members of the Orange Democratic Party. Maybe there are new developments in the. I don't believe that they're going to interfere with the broad-based government, but there is new development in the how they are going to work in 2027. How ODM is going to work with the other coalition. They might be briefed so that they be prepared. That could be the reason for that PG.
Okay. I will be here, and we will be waiting to see or how the news will unfold concerning the PG of ODM. That's okay. So today we want only just to have a recap on what Caleb Amisi said when they had an interview, one-on-one interview with Sequoia. Sequoia is doing an amazing job in his YouTube channel, and he happened to have hosted Caleb Amisi. And Caleb Amisi is one of the ODM members. I would call him the young ODM members who usually speak their mind. But there's something that Caleb Amisi said that so many people are questioning themselves, even us, we are questioning ourselves that but we knew what happened immediately after Baba came in and joined hand with President Ruto immediately after the Gen Z. People were very hungry, very, very much hungry. And Caleb Amiti is admitting that the hatred that uh, he has seen towards Baba, he has never experienced it. To begin with the Yaga, did they not see this one coming?
The ODM people, they saw it coming, and they know what the ground is. Baba is also surrounded by so many sycophants that cannot face and tell Baba the truth. But if you look at Caleb Amisi, who is Caleb Amisi? Caleb Amisi is a young from Vihiga who went all the way to fight in Kitale, Trans Nzoia, where the Amisi, his father bought the land there when he was in primary school. So the Maragol is from Vihiga. That is the native, the ancestral home. So he's vying there. And if you look at that constituency, as somebody who have stayed in Kitale, Sabot constituency, bordering the Endebess, the other side, Mount Elgon from the Sabot side, and Kiminini and Kimilili and Kwanza, which is Kitale town. The CBD or the administration town in Trans Nzoia is under the bigger part of it, like 60% is in Caleb Amisi's constituency. So Caleb Amisi are people who are elected, not necessarily the majority there is the Bukus, followed by the rest of lawyers, and then there are Nandis, there are Luos, there are Kikuyus, there are everybody. So Caleb Amisi is elected by everybody. So he is in a position to say the truth than listening to somebody like Opondo Kaluma, who cannot even win a seat, cannot live in Kanyada because people of Kanyada are the majority in Homa Bay town. So I think Caleb Amisi is saying the truth, because I think that PG should be part. This should be part. They should try to get. When you damage the image of Baba, you damage the image of ODM, because Baba is ODM and ODM is Baba. There is no Raila without ODM, and there is no ODM with Raila. So to save the image of this party, they must save the face of Raila Odinga in Kenyan politics. So I think the people who will tell Baba the truth are not people who come from purely elected by the locals down in the rural areas. So Pondo Kaluma, John Badi, those cannot tell Baba the truth. But I think Caleb Amisi, the way he speak the truth, because that is what is in the ground. And depending with where I come from, because I was staying in one of his ward called the Tiwani ward, the MCA there is also a guy from Busia, Daddy. So that is that place is a very cosmopolitan in nature. So I think when he tells Saba, he has listened to the ground, and that ground in Saboti constituency reflects the rest of Kenya. Those are the few constituencies in Republic that reflect actually the nation and the feeling of the nation. And I think Caleb Amisi is on right time and right dot, and is speaking on the right way. And that is how ODM should be told the truth, or else we will be not called to the street after they have managed to fail, after their failures to manage the public anger that is still rage. There is rage. Rage is still on. That revolution nature and heart of Kenyans are still on, and everybody is feeling it, include the Chief Justice. So they are crying up and down. Kenyans are everywhere. Yani, it is hot on them. So it is not only ODM. I think ODM should take this as a learning, for learning purposes, and ensure that they try to correct one or two in their political thinking. Benson.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Yaga, for that. And let me take this opportunity to welcome our good friends on the comment section. Laban Misiani, thank you very much. We are doing good. How about you? Laban Misiani is saying Baba is our political god. Yes. Thank you for that comment. And let also may take this opportunity to bring in my brother in the comment section and my sister. Hey, brother Benson, that is Gibson Corner. Thank you so much for joining. And I hope all of you are doing well. Just let us know how you are doing. Migude, let me come to you. And the same question that I've posed to Ayaga, based on what Caleb Amisi said on a one-on-one interview with Enoch Sikolia, the hatred that um, people have, or majority of population have towards Baba, is unseen. He has never experienced that since he started to play in the political scene of Baba, or political camp of Baba. Did they? Did he saw this one coming, or what happened?
In my view, Caleb Amisi, not that he saw it coming.
Yeah.
Caleb Amisi has just been faced with the reality currently, because he has been thriving in opposition where he's coming from. He's played to the gallery because where he has been coming from, they believe that they have been protecting the interests of the people in each and every government. That has been Raila's work, or Raila has been doing that work for a long time. He has been protecting the interests of the people. He has been defending the people's interests. At the same time, he has been defending the rule of law. But now, contrary to Raila's work, which he has been doing for a quite long time, the people like Caleb Amisi, there are some people who are stuck right away because they are representing the people. They are being elected by the people. It is the people who have put them there. Someone like Caleb Amisi, maybe his 2027 opponent is currently reasoning things so well with the people, or he has gone back to the people. Caleb Amisi, therefore, cannot go into government because he's facing some serious challenges with his future opponent. Because once, if he go back, if he goes to the government, he will give his future opponent a leeway and he will take the people away from him. The best way, not that for his future opponent not to take the people from him, he must maintain the position of opposition, which he has been driving for a quite long time. That is why Kalba Misi, even when we were putting Gashagwa, he opposed it after he voted yes, but later said, we are done with Gashagwa. Let us now go ahead and pick William Ruto because he's speaking the language of the people. That is a clear indication that majority of the people from supporting constituency
Yeah.
are not bodying. Majority of the people in that constituency are not bodying. If you are a true representative of the people, you should represent the will of the people. You should not represent your own interest or of that of the party. That's a clear indication that the peoples on the ground are not in an agreement with the position of the party. They are not in agreement at all. That's why Kaliba Misi must. He has no option because he's still a young person who is ambitious politically. He cannot lose his seat by joining or supporting anything the government. He has been opposing, he even opposed Adani deal. When Raila said that Adani is good, he opposed it. That's a good politician and a smart politician because his interest is valuing the people. He's defending the people at the same time is defending the interest or the will of the people he's representing in parliament. One of his role, is representation. And when he's representing the people, he must do it effectively. And that's according to me. That's why Kaliba Misi has been seen as opposition in government because their party has joined government, the so-called broad-based government. But there are some few elements like Caleb Amisi, someone like Sifuna is trying to swing. Sometimes he's in government, but mostly he's in opposition. You have even seen people like Babu Owino. They are trying not to board because it also depends on the nature of what Ayaka has just told you, the nature of the population that compose that constituency. Like Embakasi is cosmopolitan, Sapoti cosmopolitan. You have to balance politically as a young person and someone who's ambitious. You don't need to rush. That's why some of them have to maintain their stand, even if it's going to cost them in their party.
Okay. Thank you so much. And I want to bring you to brief history because this is not the first time that we are saying or we are experiencing a broad-based government. Back in the history, we had the one with Raila and Moi. Then it came the Kibaki. Then it came Uhuru administration, especially the second term of Uhuru. Baba came in, but then we had now this one. Yeah, we have now the broad-based government right now, which, if you look at it very keenly, it is not welcomed as the previous salamu za heri kwa Kiswahili, but this one is kind of like people are resisting it, and it's bringing this hate. And Ayaga, why do you think so? As compared to the previous handshakes that Raila has had with the presidents in office, why is this one so much resisted to an extent whereby the hate that Amisi is talking about is pointed towards Right Honorable Prime Minister, whereby he quotes, "Don't even want him to win a chairman of a cattle dip, including the chairman of a cattle dip in a village."
Okay, the reason why this one's a little bit different, the previous handshakes, it was due to national and international pressure that were started in both leaders at that time. Look at what happened to Moi when Raila Odinga entered into a deal with the Moi. I can't recall the name pure, but I think it was something called IPPG. So what happened during the IPPG? It's the president actually that feels the tension of the country. Then he called everybody on board, and that's how Raila entered the government. In 2008, if also you are keen, the Kibaki refused to vacate, and all Kenyans arose in one voice: Kibaki must go. They never want Kibaki. They believe Kibaki never won the election, so Kibaki was forced. Yeah, they were forced. In fact, both of them were forced to send their strong line. Yeah. To come back, then have an agreement. And when that thing came, everybody embraced it. Uhuru Kenyatta the same, because the country was heading towards a wrong direction, and it seems that Raila had taken a strong stand. The election happened in August, and then there were nullification of presidential election, and then there was a repeat election that happened on June 26th, the birthday of Uhuru Kenyatta. You remember the supporters of Uhuru Kenyatta say, this is a birthday gift to Uhuru Kenyatta. So when that happened, Uhuru sensed danger. The country was in tension. You see the churches in unison, international, the ambassadors, they forced actually for Raila at least to get down with Uhuru Kenyatta, but Raila refused. Raila said, I may agree to back down, but I will not join that government, though we will work close. So they never. The different with this one, because Ruto was left alone. I think Ruto asked to be left alone, and the United States and the UK supported Ruto through the ambassador Meg Whitman and the other one from UK who was here. They supported Ruto. Remember the last year's Mandamano? I think it was around March. The last year's Mandamano, American gave order for Raila to be killed. If you don't know, that it is true. They gave the government order to kill Raila and manage the repercussion. What happens after that? That's why Raila Odinga was aimed with live bullets several times in that Mandamano. And they went and do the massacre in Kisumu at night. So they were trying to push the limits and see what happened. Say, now William Ruto, we have left you alone, and Kenya remain without opposition, and Uhuru Kenyatta kept quiet. And this one now, it is Kenyans again who rose through young generation called Gen Z, who went to the street to deal with Ruto and Ruto political alliance. Raila was not in the picture. And even I remember a certain lady when they were starting this Mandamano, Raila was begging because people knew how Raila behaved. Raila and Mandamano, they are together. So those young people told Baba, Baba raundi hii weka nyumbani, tutakupigania. Sit back at home and watch us. Relax. And Raila also acknowledged and even wrote a statement acknowledging and supporting the young people to go forward and reclaim their country. At that time, the ambassador of US, and UK, were praising the government, saying the government is doing better. It was blah blah. So this was not purely an ODM affair. This was purely a young people's affair. So when ODM came and jumped in and take advantage of these young people actually get annoyed, and that rage is still on. They might have been calmed down for time being, but the rage is on their heart. So they turn to social media. So they start reading ODM and Raila and reading Ruto at the same time. So that's where the ODM and Raila Odinga, but they have keep ignoring. If you can look at how our young MPs like Babu Wino, Sifuna, this one now Caleb Amisi, and even Nditi Mwali, yule wa Sidwini Bumula, these young members of parliament, they have trying to oppose this thing, but Raila and ODM has keep on ignoring them and even allow some attacks through a blogger become MCA in Nairobi here in Kilimani called Robert Alai. Alai attacks and abuses these young people, these young legislators, rendering Babu Owino the voice of Babu Owino voiceless, the voice of Caleb Amisi voiceless, the voice of Edwin Sifuna voiceless. And there were like leadership angry between ODM. You see, when even Orengo tried to tell the likes of Madi and Oparanya, look, let us not jump into this thing because Orengo is a revolutionary. He knows how the revolution works, and he has a quote over the revolution. He said, revolution always eats its own children. He knows that very well. So he told them, no, let us have a written agreement like what happened in 2008, a national accord that is binding with the constitution is when we work with Ruto in a pure guideline. The like of Mbadi bashed him out, insult him, call him names, and ignored him. But that was the reality that now the ODM is now sitting on the ground. The time has come and the revolution is up there to eat its own children. If the revolution that NZ were fighting, those young people who died on June 25th, if we're fighting for Mbadi and the rest to government, I don't think it is so. Those people, they had a pure intention of salvaging and bringing back their country, reclaiming back their country. But ODM ni kama imekuwa kama hurdle, kama wale ambao wamekimbia kuna 100 meters hurdle ile unakimbia ukiruka. But now their first hurdle was ODM. So I think that PG, they will sit, reflect, because many young legislators are disgruntled and there is a threat to split ODM 3 times. There is a plan to split ODM 3 times because those in government like Junet and the rest of those 4 experts, they will stick with Ruto. There are people who will stick with Baba. And there are these young people who want to chant their own political way because they are listening to their age mates. And I think that's where ODM need to be very careful.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Yaga. I'll be coming back to you. Before I bring in Miguda, I want to, on the comment section, we have Mr. Laban. Laban is saying the majority of people who have hatred with Baba have never seen the door of the police station. And if their fathers comes for them before they are arraigned in court. Okay. Laban also continues say all the guys who are breathing hot and cold are only hanging on the Baba straws of ODM. And we have Gibson saying people earn respect even if you are a pope, but if if greed gives you greasy hands and you hurt some of your loyalists because it is not given on the plate. but earn yourself a badge of honor. Hate. Gitonga, thank you. Hi, Benson. Thank you so much, Gitonga Team Gen Z, for joining us. I hope you're doing well. It is quite long time. I've not seen you on the comment section for long. I hope you're doing fine. Miguda, kindly, I want you to share with us, because when you listen to Caleb Amisi says that the Baba did that. He took unpopular way that was not going to be supported by any, to support the interest of the country, but not his interest. That's what Kaliba Misi says, because he says that if he was selfish enough, because opportunity had presented itself when the Gen Z really went uh, on maandamano, and they accessed the parliament, and the president was now so weak, yeah, and that was a very good opportunity that anybody who was competing President William Ruto could have jumped in and take over. But Baba saw that and say, my country should be first. This is not the time that I should grab this opportunity. Let me do it for the sake of my country. What do you think of that comment?
The current agreement between Raila and Ruto, it is unpopular in Caleb Amisi's view, because I'll have two perspectives. Number one, first, the one of Uhuru Kenyatta was popular. The handshake was popular in Raila's stronghold or Raila's backyard, Nyanza, Coastal. The people support Raila, it was popular. But it was never popular in Mount Kenya. The Kikuyu never liked it, that handshake between Raila and Ruto. And they demonstrated that by not voting for Raila, whom Uhuru presented before them, for them to vote for him. They never voted for Raila. So it was unpopular in central Kenya. We cannot say it was popular across the board. It was only popular in Raila's base. The current handshake between Raila and Ruto, it is unpopular in central. At the same time, it is not as popular as handshake of Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila happened in Raila's base. It's popular partly, but it's not popular. Many people do not embrace it, because many people are right in the middle of the coast. They don't recognize it. Unlike what we did when Uhuru and Raila came together, it was popular in Luo Nation. This one is not popular because Kasongo was Raila opponent, and Raila, people wanted Kasongo to go because this is the person who you claim to have stolen your nation. This is the person you are claiming to have even bribed the Supreme Court to give the verdict they gave. People wanted Kasongo to go. Kasongo was unpopular in Mount Kenya. At the same time, he was unpopular in the Luo Nation or Raila's base. They wanted him to go. That's why this one is not popular, unlike that of Uhuru and Raila. And the reason also this one cannot be popular is because by the time Uhuru came together with Raila, people knew that Uhuru was going to support Raila, and Uhuru was doing his second term. There was surety that indeed Uhuru was going to defend that seat. Therefore, Raila was going to be president because, as history has in this country, if the sitting president is appointed, even if
Miguda, let me maybe there's a place I want you to explain for us, because you say that when Uhuru came together with Raila, they knew that Uhuru was going to support Raila. But remember, there was a point agenda that was after their meeting, after their handshake. There was I think there were 9-point agenda that they were supposed to work on, you know, and one of the supporting Raila Odinga was not on those package. This one came much later.
Dr. Benson, politicians knows when Raila embraced Uhuru, it was very obvious that one must go. They have to kick one out. They can't be there, three of them. Right now, the way Raila embraced Ruto, one has to go. Because it's about interest. When these two interests merged, and we knew very well Uhuru was going to do his last term, those 9-point agenda they were discussing, which were incorporated in the multiple amendment of the constitution, the BBI.
Yeah.
One were things like they wanted to merge some constituencies, they wanted to introduce some constituencies, and the issue of amending the structure of the government, that is the executive. They wanted to introduce the position of the prime minister into the executive. Even if you look at that formation alone, that type of agenda, it was obvious that these two people are going to work together. And if there's a position for prime minister and the president, at that time Raila was not the president. It was obvious Raila was going to be the president and Uhuru was going to be the prime minister. It was clear that to the people, supporters base of Raila, they knew that Uhuru and Raila are going to work together beyond 2017. That's going to 2022. That's why he said it was popular in Luo Nation, but the people in the central Kenya did not embrace it because obviously you understand the nature between the central Kikuyus, the Kikuyus and Raila. They don't like him, even if he's supported at what, even if you present Raila with Ruto. Now they are claiming that if Raila is with Ruto in 27, they'll vote for Raila. I can assure you, if Raila is with Ruto in the same, in the ballot, if it's a rematch in 2027, the Kikuyu nation will still embrace Kasongo. They cannot vote for Raila. They have demonstrated it. The reason why I'm saying, that's why I agreed that issue of Uhuru Kenyatta Raila. I was explaining that it was obvious right now Kasongo is going to defend his seat. There's no way Kasongo.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. But what I want you to give us a picture of, because based on what Caleb Amisi was saying that Baba made an unpopular decision, yeah, for the sake of the country, yeah, because he could not, because the opportunity had presented itself, but he knew that if he was so much selfish of himself, he would have grabbed the opportunity and pushed Ruto out, bearing in mind that there was also a maandamano that had already taken place. Remember where we came up with the NADCO. And now this one for the Gen Z came, and people were even telling him to stay home, as Ayaga mentioned. And he decided, no, let's not go this route. Let me agree to William Ruto so that we can stabilize the country, because my country first, not my interest. Do you agree with the assumption of Amisi, what he said on the interview, that it was the interest of the country? That's why we have to do that.
I disagree with Amisi. The reason why I disagree with Amisi is because he's saying an opportunity has presented itself, and the Gen Z told Baba to kaa nyumbani. And after Gen Z pushed Ruto out of State House, Gen Z were going to give Raila presidency. That is what you mean. That is not true, because you have heard right now people are saying that the people who are pushing Kasongo actually were not Gen Zs. There are people who are hiding behind Gen Zs. What if those people could have taken that power? Could they give it Raila? That's the question you should ask, because you cannot see that opportunity present itself. Maybe it was never organic. If Kasongo could have fled out of the country, what about Gachagua factor? Because if Kasongo goes, who becomes the president? That's why Raila asked the question. You are saying Ruto must go, then what next? That was the question. If you are saying Ruto must go, what next? I disagree with Caleb Amisi. If an opportunity presented itself, maybe that opportunity was never organic. Maybe it was never meant for Raila. There were some people who are plotting, maybe somewhere, to push Kasongo out of State House. Then after push Kasongo, how sure are you that they were going to get Raila from Karen to State House? That's why I believe that Raila maybe never had any intention or never had any people who are plotting to. Therefore, so it is right for him to salvage Kasongo or salvage the situation, because Kasongo, Raila was not in the mix. Maybe the people who have been accused of plotting the demonstration was on the demonstration never had Raila in their mind that after Kasongo fled out of the country, let us fix Raila. Again, how sure are you that Kasongo was going to leave State House? How sure are you that? Because it never happened. It means it was not materialized. So maybe Kasongo could have been defended by the state could have defended one of them. They could have defended the head of state to ask that it ever. If Raila could have plotted all these things, or if Raila could have been in the mix, then I could have agreed with the Amisi that Raila lost an opportunity. But Raila never lost an opportunity. Was not part and parcel of the Raila was not part of the parcel of the situation because Raila had their negotiation in 2023. And that's why when they came together with Ruto, he decided to reflect on 2023, their demands, and he immediately agreed to work with Ruto based on ODM and of the ODM, but he never agreed to work with Ruto based on the Gen Zs, based on those who are plotting to overthrow William Ruto. That's where I have a different view with Caleb Amisi.
Okay, thank you so much. And let me come to Ayagam. Ayagam, still on the Caleb Amisi interview, they are quite much interesting to pick from it. One of the things that I would also pick from it, he said this, that Kenya has, as Raila has presented himself for Kenyans like 5 times, yeah, and he has not won the presidency, yeah, and the reason why he has not won because they're not voting for him massively, yeah, they're not coming out in large numbers to vote for Raila, and now when Raila want a AUC, they take this opportunity to spread that hate for him, towards him. Yeah. And even he talked about the issue of about the election being stolen. He was kind of like doubting that, So what is your take on his speech about Kenyans not very appreciating the efforts that Raila has done to an extent whereby even the campaigning him in the AUC campaign that is going on, they end up supporting another candidate from the booty.
Okay, thank you very much. What I can say is very simple. I agree partially with the Caleb Amisi statement, and partly I also disagree. What I'm saying is one. If you look at what happened to ODM,
yeah,
what happens to ODM in the last year's mandamano, when it comes to hatred, baba huwa kona ile what we say Raila phobia na Railania. There are those who just like him for no good reason, and there are those who just hate Baba for no good reason. If Raila ran for the presidency, they will never vote for him. If Raila want to lead Mandamano to change, last year they were telling us Raila is destroying their businesses. So there is that hatred. So the difference with the hatred this time round, that's why it is so loud, that it is coming from within ODM and within Raila Odinga's stronghold. Now, that's where the problem is. Because even if you go to central Kenya, there are people there like Akabando. Those people who lost their seat because their different view of how they are viewing Raila Odinga. So, if you hear them today saying, if you look at the generation of Raila, the second liberators, majority of them have been supporting Raila across the country, from coast to western, from Namanga to Wajir. So these people today, they are all in disagreement with Raila Odinga. Now, that is what is making the noise and the hatred so loud, because Raila Odinga used to be hated. That's a new deal. Yes, he used to be hated. But there are those people who used to defend him. Even if he made a mistake, they defend him. But this time round, you get the people who ought to defend Baba is the people who are telling him the truth. Baba, you messed. This is not the person to work with. That is what is making this thing louder. And again, if I go deep in Ali Bamisi's speech or statement, he's saying that Baba had an opportunity that he could have grabbed. My friend, there was no opportunity. Look at what happened in June. 26, a day after the Gen Z had overrun the parliament. Yeah. William Ruto used these things we call them PCR. We have things around. They are like aliens that are disturbing people in the United States. I heard aliens are coming with drones. I don't know if it is rumors. We also have some kinds of aliens here in the name of members of parliament. He had used these members of parliament to pass a martial law that William Ruto can deploy military anytime, any day, anyhow. That's why if the other day when he was reading the speech, he was he was addressing the parliament. There was our military there. There were KDF, all of them, Kenya Navy, Kenya Air Force, Kenya Army, all they were in the ground because now he has a law on his side. Because he knew he might be overwhelmed. If he's not helped, atakuwa overwhelmed. But no man goes down kneeling. All politicians, they will go down standing. He wanted to say, if you chase me, I will help you destroy that country. And the destruction that could have met that, with that, I think we could have taken like 40, 50 years to build or to bring our country together. So Raila also actually he placed country ahead of um, ahead of his interest, which is unpopular. Here I agree with the Amisi 100%. But sometimes in life, as a human being, you have to take an unpopular stand so that you solve the situation. People will not thank you now, but we will get a madman later, and then we will compare the two. Then we will say, actually, Raila was a better man. When you do all these things and there is no comparison, I say one day Kenyans will sit down and maybe we will get somebody like Miguna ndiye amenyang'anywa election yenye ameshinda. He caused a civil war or anybody else somewhere. I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying Miguna is a rebel or a civil or a bad leader. We are just saying anybody who do not go down easy. So I think Raila took that decision. It was painful, not for himself, but for his party and also his supporters. But I think now, because the country's stability is more important than all of us, now the country is stable. I think Raila need to get away and walk away from that pact because, number one, this was the pact I'm told it was said over the phone call. Yeah. Ruto was just desperate about the event, called the Kalonzo, Kenyatta, called many people. So I think we need to, as a ODM, we need now to come back to people because ODM is always the party that is pro people.
Mm. Okay. Can you fix your mic? As you fix your mic, let me bring in you, Miguda. Miguda, on the same speech, Caleb Amisi is saying that the hatred that towards Baba is an extension from the president, because the hate that maybe people have towards president is extended to the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, just because he betrayed Kenyans at the point of need. Because when you look at the demands that were laid down by the Gen Z, were including, not to mention the size of the cabinet, because they were demanding that there should be a reduction in the size of the cabinet, which will enhance, maybe to control the way the budget expenditure. Two was also to dismiss the cabinet and appoint new ones, which president did, but unfortunately he brought in new faces in different ministerial posts. Then another thing that they usually also say that the hate is when that opportunity had come and they had a conversation, Baba extended his ways and say donated some of the experts to the government, and they feel that he benefited at the expenses of the Gen Z. Do you share that, or you have a different view on that?
I still have a different view. I don't
Yeah,
know why today I maintain my difference with Caleb Amisi,
yeah.
but not no, maybe I'll find out later why today I differ with Caleb Amisi in almost of the reason why I have a different opinion with what Amisi said when he said that the hatred towards Raila is an extension of him working with the president, or an extension of the hatred of the president. That's why that hatred has spread to Raila. The reason why I disagree with Amit is because the people who hate Raila right now because he's working with William Ruto are the same people who hated Raila Odinga in 2022 election. Are the same people who have been hating Raila. If you ask the people from the my fellow Cukes friends, it's the Cukes who have been hating Raila all along.
Mm.
And the same Cukes hate Raila because he's working with William Ruto. There is no much change in hatred. The same hatred. Because Raila has also has also increased some friends. Because previously, the Kalenjin nation never liked Raila. But right now, some of the Kalenjin nation like Raila because Raila has salvaged their son. That's why I disagree with that expression hatred Raila. It is not much because the constituents that hate Raila are the same constituents that still hate Raila. But the constituents that loves Raila, still they loved him and they are still following him. He has not lost that love from that constituency because he's working with William Ruto. That's why I disagree with him when he talks about that hatred is an extension of William Ruto. It's not an extension. Raila has been hated in Mount Kenya. That's a fact. Even if the Uhuru Kenyatta and supported him, they never voted for him. So Raila has not lose when he's working with them because Raila has even lost many elections. Even if he is going ahead, he doesn't need to become president. So he has nothing. That has nothing to do with Raila. It has nothing to do with Raila political and future. Let them just hate Raila. It's obvious. Raila is living a bit. It's normal politically. The issue of Gen Z had laid ground that they wanted president to reduce the cabinet. I disagree with that issue towards Amisi as a lawmaker. Amisi is a lawmaker. In my view, or is a debate which we will put for interpretation. When during the amendment of the Constitution from High Court, Supreme Court of Appeal, Supreme Court, it was clear that the president can only initiate any amendment in the Constitution. Our Constitution is very clear on the number of the cabinet secretary for the president to appoint.
Yeah.
If that is clear in the Constitution, you cannot force William Ruto to reduce that number. That is, it is going to act in contrary to the Constitution. He doesn't have that immune, doesn't have that right to amend any part of the Constitution. He must work with the Constitution. Gen Z should have waited. We go through parliamentary initiative and also the issue of the cabinet. It touches it touches the executive. If it touches the executive, you must go to the people, not even the parliamentary initiative. It doesn't need to wait for parliament to amend. We have to go for a referendum as a country and put a question. Do we have to restructure the cabinet or not? Do we have to restructure the executive or not? Then the question we put the Kenyans, Kenya will decide. That's why I disagree with Caleb Amisi that the president act within the constitution to give the people the number of cabinet that is required by the constitution, because the constitution talks about 21 plus attorney general. They have to be that number. He has no authority to reduce as the president the number of cabinets because that one is going to act contrary with the decision which was pronounced by the Supreme Court, which is the apex court of the land. The only where I can agree with Caleb Amisi is when William Ruto brought in the same faces but different dockets. But there are two faces I can defend. There are two faces which were brought back I can defend. Not that I'm defending because I'm supporting them or I like them or I like their work, but I can defend based on how they were appointed. there were some two people who were already elected. Aden Duale was elected member of parliament, National Assembly. Murkomen was elected as senator for Marakwet in the Senate. Therefore, these people, you told them which was they were going to come and assist you in the cabinet. Then you are going to help them, and you want to bring some, you have to bring new faces. These people they had nowhere to go because you are the one who told them to resign from those positions. Therefore, they had actually me. I know that not that I support. I knew that those two were to make comeback because already they were elected by the people. They resigned and joined the cabinet. They had to make comeback. Those two people, with them, they had to make comeback. But also, we have to sometimes give President credit because he never brought all of them to the cabinet. He
Yeah.
brought some new faces, even though they were politicians, and Gen Z never wanted politicians. But you cannot outrule politics in the appointment of the cabinets because it's all about politics, it's about interest. And that's why Kasongo is moving to Nyanza, is moving to Coastal, to Western, and saying that you never voted for me. I gave you some local position. If you vote for me going forward, it's about this all this process is a political process, and let us distinct between legal process and a political process. Political process, it must just end political way. It cannot end legal way. Back to you, Benson.
Thank you so much. And I don't know, Ayaga dropped. And on the comment section, let me see what at me good. You are doing law, and you know the president is the appointing authority. You cannot decide. You cannot decide his work. Miguda, what do you say about that?
I've not decided president work. I was very clear. Laban, I was very clear. I said that the president did, did well by appointing all the cabinet in that number. Because the GNZ wanted the president to appoint less people compared to the number of the constitution. And I said that the president has that prerogative to appoint the cabinet, which he did. I'm supporting it 100%. I've just said that the president cannot amend the constitution. That's what I've said. But in terms of appointment, in terms of prerogative of the president, in terms of the numbers of the cabinet, I have not said anything. I'm in agreeing with the president, whatever he did by appointing those people in that number, by appointing, but without reducing the number of the cabinet when he was appointing the dismissed cabinet. That was, I was very clear. The only point which I want to maintain, Laban can add nuclear, is that I said the president cannot alter that number of the cabinet, or the president cannot change or cannot reduce that number because the GNZ demanded so. The president must, if you want to amend any part of the constitution, we have only two ways: parliamentary, or if it's a popular initiative, you go to the people. That's why I say we have to go to the people and amend, then we can come back. President alone cannot reduce that number. If he acts in that manner, he's going to act in contrary with the decision which was pronounced by the Supreme Court. That's what I said, Brother Benson. Let him get it very clear.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Yaga. I know you're back, and I want just to put this one to you because there are few things, or there are so many things that we cannot take away from Raila, especially some of the achievements that the country has made, and some of the things that he has really fought for. In terms of he has been on the front line with others, especially when it comes to fighting for um, democracy in the country. That is something that is in his portfolio, is something that you cannot take away from him. There's also one item that you cannot take away from him, among others, about fighting for the new constitution. But now the question is, how can him or with this team make the people understand that even though I took unpopular route, but this was as a result of the country that I love. So we call Ayaga, we call it with it. How can you redeem now, or how can you come out and explain, clear your name in a very so that the young people, the Gen Z, would know that he did it for the love of the country.
You can get me now.
Yes.
Okay, now let me say this very simple. Abba should not bother with the hatred that is around the corner. You know, this political disorder that you are seeing people attacking Raila. These are people who have just been attacking Raila all along. Some of us, we may disagree with what Raila is saying or Raila doing or the position Raila took, but we will advise Baba in the best way. We tell him, Baba, you know, if you do this, we can win this. But you see, these are all any hatred that's coming from quarters. These are people who have hate Raila long. And then the other day they wanted to bombe ziwekwe picha ya Raila huko maeneo za zingine za hii nchi, ati ndio watu wako wa hate pombe the way they hate Raila. So now that's natural. That is something that, and Raila Odinga has survived that for very long in politics. I don't think even it's bothering his supporters getting the treatment of what Raila is getting from you know, the reason why we support Raila even if he makes mistakes sometimes is because we always sympathize with him. Like you say, Raila has given himself for Kenyans 5 times for Kenyans to vote for him. It is the same Kenyans who have been rejecting Raila Odinga for more than 5 times. And there is a certain regions that have been higher in rejecting Raila. These are the same people who went under rogue leadership. And now they are here, they want Raila to help them fight the same rogue leadership. If Raila said, no, I am not going to do it your way, I'm going to do it my way, they are attacking Raila. I don't think Raila should bother those. So what I'm saying, Raila should come back to his people. There are people Raila left behind. Maybe he walks so fast or he walks slowly and he left them behind. Yeah. What I'm saying is Raila needs to go straight to his political basis, his ODM party, and tell his ODM people, I made an unpopular decision. He just need to come and give us an explanation. No, nothing big because of this and this, and they also had interest on this, and my government must propose to name, and that is the reason why I'm working with William Ruto. That alone will have redeemed Raila. There is no big deal. Tutakuwa tumeota Raila kitambo, so that we meet with these people in the field, and I thank God that William Ruto is going through what he's going through. You know, the hatred of Raila started around in 2018. I don't think when Raila talked with Kibaki, there was this much hatred because the country was heading towards a civil war. And the haters of Raila had suffered the huge losses. So they were the one who actually wanted that coalition government so that these people work together so that the country can be stabilized. In 2018, the difference was these people never wanted Raila near power, and Raila went to help their son. Instead of embracing their own son, they attack Raila to the core. They fight Raila to the last man. They end up rejecting their own son, their prince from the land. Now, I think if Raila choose to work and assist William Ruto, because William Ruto has acknowledged that Raila has come to help him, not anybody else. Yeye mwenyewe ndio Raila amekuja kusaidia. Alisema kule Kondele, alisema baba, mimi nilikujanga nikasaidia baba wakati ingine, lakini this time round baba amekuja akanisaidia. Akauliza watu, hiyo ni mbaya? Watu wakasema si mbaya, and to me it is not bad. So let the people who have used to attack Raila will attack Raila. For us, we will just advise Baba, you know, you slide here, come back, this is the line. You walk way ahead of us, come back, explain to us so that we work together. Because I believe in that if you want to go far, you walk with the people. But if you want to go fast, you go alone. So I think Baba needs his people behind him, and we have pushed him there. And I know Raila, that's why he's called Rambo. He's the mysterious one. Baba might that PG, Baba might do something this holiday before 25th. Ushangae tumerudi kwa baba wako useme ni tulirogwa na baba ama ni baba ndiye alituroga. So I think it is high time Baba come back to the people and listen to the young. You know the problem in ODM, there are some this older generation, older senior generation that do not want to listen. But there is this younger generation that want to listen to the ground. So there is a conflict of interest. So I think that is the only thing that Baba need to fix, and so that these people can be on the same bucket, and then we walk going forward. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Makobura. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining, Makobura. And I'm also seeing them 99. Thank you so much, brother, for joining. And Ayaga, when you listen to some quarters, because like sometimes we tend to listen to different views, and you find that people are not mad with the Baba, but people are mad just because the Baba is supporting administration that they feel is not doing justice for them. Starting from the Adani deal, coming to medical, coming to taxes that are really they feel is not very right, and Baba is not supporting or standing with the people of Kenya, coming to affordable housing, everything, that they feel is not going right. And that's what might be creating this hatred towards him. How will he, as you say that, come back and explain to us the reason why I went that route? How are you going to explain to them about the taxes? How are you going to explain to them about the affordable care or the Taifa care? How are you going to explain to them about the affordable housing? How are you going to explain to them even about the issues to do with education? Because those are the things that the Kenyans are raising. And that's what they feel like. Why would you support that?
I think that is not a very big deal for Raila Odinga. The Raila Odinga, the man I know, the Igma of politics in Africa, not even in Kenya, in Africa, the most prolific human being in Southern Sahara and Northern River Limpopo. Raila Odinga was fighting for the high taxes last year. When the first budget was passed in the by the previous administration, he went to the streets using a spray on his head. That tells you the high cost of living. Raila Odinga even proposed that Kenyan go on a sabotage, not go to the work with vehicles. You remember the day Raila Odinga walked from Karen to town? He told Kenyans, leave your vehicles outside so that you can you can deny them the tax on fuel. He proposed everything that Kenyans are complaining about today. He told Kenyans, help if you have a vehicle and that guy is going to town, actually allow the carry 3 or 4 so that you minimize the use of fuel, so that we siphon or deny these people the high taxes that they want. Raila started these things yesteryear. So what Gen Z were fighting for were the continuation of what Baba had done. What the mistake of Baba is only one. This young generation, they don't have a second thought. They just want to destroy until they don't know what comes next. Like what happens in Bangladesh and in every other places. So when the elderly like Odinga look at the daughters and the granddaughters of him and seeing the trouble that our country is heading to, that is not a big deal. Baba needs to come back to us. You know, when handshake happens, I said like, and is when he come down to the ground, start explaining the 9 points agenda. We are not even a quarter year since the Baba donated its experts to the government. We are waiting Baba as early as January so that Baba can come, or even next year, June, August year. We don't have timeline. We need Baba to come and explain for us why he did that the same way he did with Nancy. And he always
Eric,
explained everywhere. Started in Migori, went to Kisumu, went to Mombasa. Yeah.
Can you fix your mic? We cannot hear you. Can you fix your mic, please, sir? Try to fix your mic. Laban is saying,
Okay.
surely, how can they accuse Raila of betraying when 5 times they've refused to vote him? That is a question that is posed by Laban. Okay. Okay, hiyo sawa sawa, nimeelewa hiyo. Makobura, how are you doing, sir?
good evening. I'm doing good.
Yeah, how?
I hope you are all doing okay. Nashukuru.
Siku yako imekuwa aje?
Imekuwa vyema. Yeah, it was a fantastic day.
Thank you, and good to hear that. Today we're having a discussion, and we are just trying to pick up the pieces or some of the words that came from Amisi when he had an interview one-on-one with Enoch Sikolia. Yeah. And some of the things that he said, I don't know whether you've gotten an opportunity to listen to or watch the video. Maybe in a nutshell or overall, what is your take on what Amisi said about the hatred that is being directed towards Baba?
Okay. I think my comment to that is we understand that we're in a country where everyone has the freedom, has a right to, have their own opinion. And for that matter, anyone is entitled to, have their opinion, especially when it comes to their political stand or what they think or what they feel. And so Honorable Amisi had a right, and being that he's a politician who has been in politics for quite some time, he has a right to, give his view depending on how he analyzes things and depending on how he interprets. I remember Honorable Amisi, the people who have stuck with Raila for quite some time, and they're the best people who can actually give us a good narration of what really the ground is saying, especially those who support Raila. And for that matter, he came out and he said very well that it is for the first time that they're seeing a serious hate towards Raila. And this is something we've always spoken about here. It is true that most people, most Kenyans, they felt left by the actions of Raila joining joining the Ruto government. And that was a serious thing that really didn't find it well with the people. So his comments were very particular, and it is okay for him to have that. But again, it is also right to note that the comments, especially the one that he was talking about on the relationship that Raila has with the people, it was really destroyed when he went to support the president. But again, he clarified that it was out of the interest of the people of Kenya, which partly I also support, because if we would have continued the way we were going, then I can assure you today we'll not be having a country. We'll be having a country where everyone is, on his own. And those are the things that we are trying to avoid. If you can clearly see what has been happening in Africa, we have countries in Africa that, they don't have elected leaders. Majority of them, there were chaos in those countries, and then the military are the ones who are running those countries. So it is a good thing that as much as the people really needed him to take over the government or to help in the fight against the president, he also had to, make a move that many people did not expect. and we can say that it has really tried to stabilize the country as much as it didn't go well with the people. But I think it is good to acknowledge that it was not a bad one.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that is what I can say on that. But again,
Yeah.
on the views of the people, it is right for people to also have their take. Um, Personally, I also didn't like the move that he took, because this is a fight that the people of Kenya started long time ago.
Mhm.
And when we were almost there, we expected someone to just push or do an acceleration to the movement that was going on, so
Mhm.
that at least it would bring change that the people of Kenya have been yearning for. It is so unfortunate that while they were getting into that handshake, they promised the people of Kenya a list of things, but so
Mhm.
far there's nothing that they have so far officiated or done.
Mhm.
And that is the reason why the level of hate towards Raila is also increasing, because while they were getting into these discussions, they promised the people of Kenya that among things, the cost of living was going to be reduced,
Mhm.
the level of corruption was going to be reduced, the people who are appointed to work for the people of Kenya, whom had actually forgotten their role and had started engaging in things which are not really uh, okay with the people, were also so far have not been done. So to some extent, the move by Raila helped the people, yes. It saved the country, but again, it there's part of it that has also brought. I mean, he helped the president. The president has continued with this move of, I would call it destroying the republic, by whereby he's not listening to the people or doing what the people are asking.
Okay. Let me based on what you've said as a Kenyan, on your opinion, and you've said the Baba right now, if you look back, because you say that earlier you were not in support of the step that Baba took, which is unpopular step. But in your opinion, how can it be right now that he comes out or people come out to explain to the people and say, okay, this is the reason why I took this, so that everybody can understand, yeah, can understand, bearing in mind that, as we said earlier, that there are some of the things that we cannot take away from him. He has really given his life to this country. We've read it in the history books. Uh, you know, how can they work it out, including the ODM? Because at the end of the day, that extension might extend it to the party too.
Okay. Yesterday we had a good friend here. Yesterday we had a good friend here, one Dem 99,
Yeah,
and he gave us his version and the thinking of the people of Mount Kenya,
yeah.
him being one of them. And he said very well that up to this point we've reached, hata yeye na wale watu ambao wanatoka Mount Kenya, they would love that Raila at least akuje, apewe hiyo kiti, ang'ang'ane nayo, kwa sababu according to him and his comments, wamechoka na Ruto. And I think that is his opinion and the opinion of those who believe so. But again, I want to say here that, when you're expecting, you cannot expect much from someone if you're not really, supporting him or doing anything positive towards, his ambitions. It is true that Raila has vied for this position more than 4 times, actually 5 times, presidency. And it is also true that majority of the people that has never really liked the politics of Raila are those who are coming from the Mount Kenya region. And being that they are the majority when it comes to population, they've been making a decision, and whichever decision they make has always carried the day. And so it is, I think as much as they're saying that he should now come, they will support him, they should also acknowledge the fact that when Raila needed their support, they didn't come out to give him the support that he needed. And for that reason, sometimes I feel that it is also wrong for them or anyone who has never supported Raila to just come and then, they start blaming him of the problems that the people of Kenya are going through. If we are supposed to blame Raila, then it is also right for the people of Kenya and those who have supported Raila to blame those who have had a negative attitude towards his political, his political move. So this thing, issues to do with politics is I think it's a two-way traffic, and the interest of the people also comes in. And just as Ayaga has always said here, I think he said this even yesterday, if you have not been supporting Raila and now you want too much, you want him to help, or the move that he made the move to support the president because he felt that the president was going to be actually overthrown by the people or the Gen Zs. And he didn't want, according to him and what he has explained, he didn't want, a point where the country would get to a point where the country would lack a president or even the ruling, especially that which is in the constitution. And so he came in to somehow make the government stable. That is the explanation that he has always given. So the people should also listen to Raila Amolo Odinga. As much as he has his own problems, those who have never supported him should now not give him too much pressure. They should also understand that he's a human being and he has his interest. If he decided he's going for AAU and he needed the support of the president, and he has no any other option, the people of Kenya have never given him the opportunity to, become the president of the Republic of Kenya. If he has seen a position somewhere and he believes the person who can help him is the president, and he needed to help him as well, then I don't see anything wrong on that.
Okay, before I invite in Ayaga, wacha nichukue hii nafasi kuambia wale ambao wako katika comment section kwamba ndakuwa natoka kidogo na wawacha na Marco Bura, Ayaga and Miguda mkiendelea na mjadala. Natarajia kurudi hivi masaa machache. So kwa Laban, Judith and everybody on the comment section, thank you so much for being with me, and now I'm leaving. May you have a good evening, a good day, a good time, depending from where you're watching us from. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Brother Ben, for starting this conversation. To Mr. Miguda and Ayaga, I hope you're now on safe hands as well. I want us to slightly continue the conversation. First, I want to give you the opportunity to give your last remarks on the conversation that we were having here, the comments of Honorable Caleb Amisi, and then I'll engage you on some few questions that I'd prepared. I mean, on actually what is happening in the Republic of Kenya. Tumeona polisi wengine wanakula ng'ombe ya wananchi. So I'll also want you to give your opinion on that. Maybe you can give your last remarks, Mr. Miguda and Eric Ayaga, on the matter that we are discussing, the matter at hand. I'll start with Miguda and then Eric.
I want to be brief because many have been said. The only thing we have to agree as Kenyans, even though they are telling us, or they're telling Kenyans that if they bring Raila to them, they will back him and they will vote for him and he become the president. I still don't believe that one they will do it, Raila. Let us just agree that we made a mistake. Some people of the country, some section of the people of the country made a mistake, voted for William Ruto because they were advised, they never listened. Now, let them, the very way other people are feeling when they were telling them to vote for Ruto, That's what they are feeling right now. And actually, not rather base they're just trying to sense, that if you are given opportunity to elect a leader, do not vote based on your tribe, that this guy is from this tribe. Elect a person, elect a leader. Look at that person and elect him on based on his past experience and his visions. Do not vote for somebody because he's coming from that tribe or because he's selling for you a propaganda for hatred. Now you are facing the consequences. We can just say this is just the beginning, because the future is tough in this politics. We are going this 2027 politics. It's going to be a do die for some people. It's going to be a walk in the park for some people. It's going to be tough for some people. Therefore, if you have that opportunity to elect a leader kindly, even from the MCA, governor, senators, be it women rep, just elect somebody. Look at that person. Look at him or her. Do not base your conscience on someone's past or someone's propaganda, which were just being someone selling for you. That's how we can get good leaders, and that's how we can make our country better. And let us not always blame an individual each and every time. That person has a life to live. He can also live his life as well as other Kenyans are living. Lastly, the issue of Ruto, Raila supporting Ruto, according to Amisi, whether it is unpopular or popular, Raila has no option but to take that route, because there were so many factors. Number one, there was that seat for AUC. Raila was targeting Ruto's vote. He has to come to salvage him for him to support in that AUC. Whether it's going to win or lose, it doesn't matter, because even a loser has a vote. That William Ruto vote is very important. Even if he's losing it, he must capture that vote. He must capture vote from Museveni and Ruto's friends in the continent. He has to capture those votes. That's why he has to come to salvage Ruto, support Ruto. And also, there were conditions in that the agreement, because Raila's close allies has been integrating that government. That's an indication that there was condition. Unlike previously, where Raila supported Uhuru Kenyatta unconditionally, right now, so even if they are going to part ways with William Ruto in 2027, it doesn't matter, because already Ruto supported him in the AUC, even whether he's going to win or not. And number two, Ruto has also tried to incorporate some of his allies to the government. Even if they're going to part ways, that is normal in politics, because politics there is possibility, and he will not cry that he had nothing to benefit from that so-called progressive government. At least he himself he benefited, and people were close to him. That's why I'm still insisting that whether it was unpopular or popular, it depends on which part of the country you are, because some part of the country is popular, some part of the country is unpopular. But the good news is the same way handshake was unpopular in Mount Kenya, it's the same way broad-based government is unpopular in Mount Kenya. Raila has nothing to lose either way, because the same people who have been hating him still hate him today. Even at his deathbed, they will still hate him. So Raila has nothing to lose. For the sake of the country, it was good. As a patriotic person, you should support it. But the fact that we are supporting it doesn't mean that we cannot talk about it or we cannot criticize it. We can criticize it, we can talk about it, we can point out issues. Back to you, Makbul. Mute, unmute.
Can you hear me? Am I clear now?
Very clear.
Okay, fine.
Yes, we can.
Eric, I believe you've started your mic. It was seriously breaking at an extent that you were unable to get what you are saying. So maybe you can give us your last remarks
Ndio
on
nauliza sahii unanipata kwanza?
bado iko haisikiki. It is seriously breaking. I don't know whether it is your network.
Wacha nitaingia kesho. It is network.
Okay, we can't really hear you. It's seriously breaking. Okay, fine. Thank you, Mr. Eric. I hope you'll get the opportunity to rectify whatever the problem is. To our viewers, this is the Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. If you are new to this channel, kindly like and subscribe, because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us, and we'll really appreciate. And again, here we say that your opinion counts. If you have anything that you want to say, you can write it at the comment section, or we always share the link. Allow me to just share it. I don't know whether it had been shared before, so that anyone who is having a contrary opinion can also join. I've just shared the link at the comment section. If you're interested, you want to join and also contribute or give us your opinion, you are highly welcomed, so that you can also give your opinion. Yes, Mr. Miguda, I want us to now just slightly look at what was trending today. I just watched the news and I was really surprised. Kumekuwa na issue ya wale ambao wanaiba ng'ombe, and this is something that is really, it is a threat to our nation. And ukienda huko sides za Kisumu, the issue of stealing, hii mambo ya kuiba ng'ombe is a serious thing. And not just in Kisumu, but in so many parts of the country. I just watched the news and I was really surprised that ng'ombe ambayo imeibwa inapatikana kwa police station. And the funny thing ni polisi ndio wanachenja hii ng'ombe. What is your take on this story that is coming up, Mr. Miguda? It is really, I don't know how you can put it, that the people of Kenya can go through such a thing. Ng'ombe yako imeibiwa, wale ambao wanafaa kukusaidia kupata ng'ombe, utapata hii ng'ombe iko huko kwa police station, imechinjwa, imekuwa sasa nyama. And that really angered the people of that area, and they had to go for a demonstration. What is your take if we are in a country where we can hear of such stories, Mr. Miguda? And then to Laban Misiani, I've seen your comment. We will actually talk about that as well. What you've just brought up, it is what we are going to talk about after. Mr. Miguda, wewe unasemaje? Polisi ambayo anafaa kulinda wananchi na kusaidia kupata ng'ombe ambao wameibiwa, ndio wale wako pale wanachinja hii ng'ombe, ama ni Christmas, the mood of Christmas can make them. What is your take on that?
The issue of cattle rustling, it is an issue which has been in the country. And in the country, as we were born, we found people are stealing cows, other communities. And because we have also moved across the country, we have traveled very well in the country, and we have traveled and stayed in many places of the country. We engage people, we understand there are communities whereby stealing cows is part of the culture of the practice custom that if you want to marry, you must go and steal a cow to prove that you are ready to marry. Therefore, you can be given an okay. The community will give green right. You can go and marry your wife with those cows. And there are also some people demand more cow for you to get their wives. Some people do steal cows. Even in your neighboring hometown, Makobura, that issue of cattle rustling, it has been there from time you were born to date. It has never got out of that area. Even if you look at the neighboring community, for example, the Kalenjin and Luo Nation, the Kuria and Luo Nation, in those borders, the issue of cattle rustling is an issue it is there with the community. And the government sorted out. They have introduced AS2. You know AS2, anti-stock theft unit. Anti-stock theft unit, even in your bordering hometown with the Kalenjin nation, they have introduced an AS2 camp there, and AS2 are responsible to ensure that they are dealing with the cattle rustlers, those who are moving at night. They have been put in the border, even within Korea and Luo Nation, Kalenjin and Luo Nation, and there is that which is very dangerous in the Northern Rift, which are not delved into it. The issue of cattle rustling, they have come and introduced that AS2 anti-stock theft unit. They are dealing with those culprits who are responsible for such action. The reason why I'm introducing the issue of AS2, sometimes AS2 can go after the cow and they can capture the people, or the people, if people are advanced right now, thieves are advanced, they can collab with the AS2 officers. They can have a collab with the AS2 officers that if the people are going to catch them, the people who are chasing after the cows, they can surrender the cows to the police officers. Then the police officers can, they AS2 can go ahead and maybe, like, they are trying to cover the suspect because they might be the government. There are such cases in court whereby suspects are in collabo with the AS2 officers. That's why it is not news for you to find a cow meat in the police station, because that is an exhibit which was supposed to be presented before the court of law. Because at police station, or for some of us who have visited prisons, not that I was rehabilitated there or I was going there to be restored. I went during when I was carrying out a field study in criminal law, Makobura. During criminal law, you can take your time to go to field study. You can go to prison, go to police station, because you understand how criminal law is too much within the prison. Those are the one of the institutions that deal with the criminal law. We went to some prison in Kisumu, Kodiaga, and when I was interviewing those people who are within the government, they are being called government guests. I talked to them. They told me in those premises, the only thing that is not available is alcohol, but everything is there, because the police officers do sell for them even drugs, bang, they sell for them. If you are telling me that the cow meat was found in the police station, it's not good news, because there are such incidents whereby police do work together with the suspect, and suspect can sign for them. Now, it is the duty of the officer to make sure that the suspect is arraigned before in court of law, and it's the duty of the police officer to ensure that that's why they were put in those sections, and that's why it was very specific. Even there is Anti-Stock Theft Unit Act, that Act of Parliament, which outline very well their duty, and they are independent. They are not even dealing with the people. Even they are not dealing with the issues of internal administration. They are dealing with the specifically anti-stock, and they usually operate at night. That's why I still believe that it was, though they have not been found, the investigation has not taken off. But in my view, I believe that the people or the suspect who might have been caught in the act or in the process or in the moment they were moving might have been having the same collab with the police officers. Now they never wanted to surrender the cow to the community or to the victim. That's why they ended up dealing with it at their premises, because they know that their premises is very safe to deal with it. Because if you don't find your cow within the night, you have to rush to the nearest marketplace, whether they are going to sell it there, or you can go to the nearest butcher. You have to look for your cows when the day breaks for you to find out actually where is your cow. And you will not have that mentality to go to police station. Maybe you can go to report, but mostly the issue of cow, people do report at local administration. They go to chief. They report to chief. and the chief usually communicates from one sub-location to the other sub-location, or from one location to the other location. There are some cows which can be found with the chief of a certain location. No one has ever imagined to go to report to the police station. That's why it is very safe within the police station, other than going to the market or to the butcher or to another location. I still believe that it was the duty of the police or the people who are responsible to take care of the suspect, which they never did. And now let us wait for the investigation of Makubura, and we'll find out really what happened.
Okay, fine. Laban is saying at the comment section that it is very sad that reforms of the police has not been implemented yet in Kenya. What is your take on the reforms which the police had presented before the government? Were they really looked into? And if not, are these some of the signs or the reasons why they're getting themselves into these acts? Because inasemekana ng'ombe ilipatikana kama inachinjwa na police in the police station. And allow me to also welcome our good friend Joyce Anthony. Joyce Anthony, kindly like and subscribe to the channel and be part of Brother Benson Media. Asante sana for your comments. We really appreciate. Mr. Miguda, what is your take on the reforms that were being pushed by the police department?
I agree with Laban. I agree with Laban because even me, I've been waiting for that implementation of the report. In our constitution, it is National Police Service. And even in the commissions, National Police Service Commission, we have the National Police Service. It should be the way it is in the constitution. Even with the coming of the implementation or an act of parliament coming to introduce the reforms into the police sector, it should remain, as per the constitution, National Police Service. The reason why I'm insisting on the National Police Service because it is service to the people. And if you look at their arm on the left, there's a logo, Utumishi kwa wote. It should be a service to the people. It should not be police force. The era of Moi. The era of Moi, it used to be police force, whereby a police officer used force in everything to arrest people forcefully, you disperse people forcefully, you forcefully bribe people, even in the roadblocks. You do things forcefully. That is outdated. It cannot work globally with the contemporary complication of the current world. That's why there was that insertion in the constitution, National Police Service. It should be a service to the people, and we have been insisting on the duty bearers and right holders. The citizens are right holders. They hold that rights. They hold those rights, be it inherent or universal. But the police has a duty to protect that right. The police has a duty to protect that citizen. That's why we insist on the service, because you cannot protect forcefully. If you now protect forcefully, that is in contrary, and it contravenes the Chapter 4, the Bill of Rights and Fundamental Freedoms. It contravenes, and when it contravenes Chapter 4, then it is unlawful. Other than service to the people, there is also lawful act. Police should act lawfully, not unlawfully. And the issue of orders from their commanders or orders from maybe county commanders or IG, the orders should be lawful. The orders should be in line with the act and should be in line with the constitution. There was even a task force put by the president, the current president. And one of the people in the task force, I saw Chief Justice Emeritus David Maraga was one of the people. I don't know whether he chaired it or not, but he was one of the people who were put in the place to look into the Police Service Commission. They did their report very well, and the report was presented to the relevant authority. What I know, it has not been implemented. That is true. The reason why it has not been implemented, I do not know, but I'll just give my view. Police service, if you implement it and you remove that force, people do that force is being done in action, but it should be service. The state sometimes do benefit from the force, the police force. Sometimes police can apply force to the civilians for the benefit of the state. If you transform it to service and you abandon the force, sometimes it can work against the state. That's why I believe the state is reluctant into implementing it, because they are beneficiary of the police force. They have not realized, or they have realized that if you put the service to civilians, this is how the civilians can overpower the state. And more so, the state, which the government which is unpopular. If the government is unpopular, the civilians can overpower you if you implement it to be a service to the civilian. But we are still insisting, and we still believe that it should be national police service, not national police force. And it should be a duty bearer to the right order. And that report should be implemented. Those are the one of the things Kenyans are calling out. But it's good now Laban has called it out at a point where people have forgotten it. People are concentrating on the economy. National Police Service Makubura is so good for the police, even in the terms of infrastructure, how they are living. There were many proposals in infrastructure, salary, in whatever, even their houses will be improved, their allowances will be improved. It's a good thing for the police sector, police as a whole. It is not even beneficial to the civilian. Other than the only thing civilians are going to get is that they're going to have that freedom whereby they will go service to the police, and it will be a voluntary service, not a force, even if they want to arrest you, because we have a clear criminal justice system in the country. You can just arrest somebody, police station, from police station, you allow investigation from DCI, then DCI will place the report to the prosecutor. Prosecutor will present you to the court if it's a criminal case. Then from the court process, it will go to a point whereby you can be convicted or acquitted. That's how it should be. It should not be the other way around. Back to you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Migoda. Something else, I think there was a question from Laban Misiani. Laban, I hope we've clarified that. Unless there's any other question, you can just give us at the comment section, and we'll be able to give you a view. Something else that I want us to have a look into is mambo ya chanjo. Nimeona ndugu yangu hapa Laban amesema tupeane maoni yetu. What do you think? Animal vaccination is a wrong policy? Okay, kumekuwa na vuta ni kuvute kwa hii mambo ya chanjo, na tumeona the president and the deputy they've been advocating for that. But again, shirika la madaktari, hasa wale wa madaktari wanaitwa aje? Madaktari wa nini Migoda? The doctors, yeah. Wao wanasema ya kwamba it is not necessary and that they ought to have been consulted. And so my question to you is, why would the government, the president, give a directive that such a thing be done without consulting a body that is also mandated, the body who should be advising the president on that? Because the veterinaries are having a different opinion. They're saying that it is not necessary and they need to be involved if such a thing is being carried out in the country. What is it that the government wants to get out of this vaccination, that they are pushing it without consulting a relevant committee or relevant people who are also working in that sector? Mr. Migoda.
In my honest opinion, first, I'm not an expert in the field of animals because I've never had one. We have never had one. Me, I was born where we don't rear animals. I don't even know how animals. Maybe in school, but in school also I was disadvantaged. I never did agriculture. I don't understand anything to do with animals vaccination. But if at all there is an expert advisory from the vet, they should consider that expert advisory from the vet, because people like Oscar Sudi were putting it in a context of human beings. And if human beings can be vaccinated, why not animals? For I can speak for human beings, the necessity for vaccination and why it is important. But for animals, I do not know. Even when it comes to consumption, I don't consume meat, so I don't understand how these things work, Makubura. You will bear with me for now, but what I can just say, if there is any vet, let us depend on the vet opinion, and if it's good for the country. First, people like to oppose things, but if it can be proved, like if it's at all going to benefit farmers or those people who keep animals, with them, if it at all is going to work for them, it's well and good. But if you're going to ask against, I don't understand how it's going to affect people. I don't, in terms of consumption, when you're going to consume that meat afterwards, or when the siblings, when those animals will give birth to young ones, it's going to affect their generation. If it's going to affect their generation, their offspring in future, if there's how they're going to, it's going to affect their offspring, or it's going to affect human beings when they consume it, it should not go on. But if it has nothing to do with the consumption, there's no effect to the human being, there's no effect to the hybrid, when they mate and after mating they have offspring, there's not any effect. They can as well and vaccine them if you're going to do better for them in terms of their health. That one is well and good. That one I'll just leave it at that point.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that opinion. Kuna siku a good friend Mkenya Mkora was here and he talked about unyakuzi wa msitu hasa ile ya Karura. Na tena leo kumekuwa na there has been some rumors that when rumors come, rumors don't always just come. There must be some truth in it. Unyakuzi wa msitu ni kitu ambacho tumeona of late, and it is something that is continuing. Leo hii unyakuzi wa msitu wa Ngong pia watu wanaongelelea. Juzi unyakuzi wa msitu wa Karura watu walikuwa wanaongelelea. Na tena experts who are also conservative of the forest and nature, they're saying that whatever is happening is a threat to the forest, because the moment a government comes in and then they start saying that they wanataka kuweka barabara katikati ya forest, or they want to do an expansion of the road na wanakata miti, they are invading into the forest, then it is something that is going to affect forestry. And that was the issue. That is, the government was trying to say that, the issue of Karura, they're trying to plant new trees, and that part of it, they're just trying to, expand the roads. What they had to say. And again, this issue has been raised again. And we are seeing the similar thing in Ngong Forest. Na tena huko wanasema ni kama wengine wanataka kuiuza so that some people would then develop, their properties in this forest. Kuna kilio ambacho kimetoka kwa wananchi, concerned citizens are having a different opinion. Kuna uharibifu wa, msitu. Mr. Miguda, what is your take on the encroachment of forest reserves and forests?
Whether it's going to benefit who, I don't care. I'll just oppose it, because the issue of deforestation you once did that one in primary school. They were being told that deforestation, we should condemn it. And as a good citizen, a patriotic one, who has lived the principles and values of the nation, I condemn it with the high terms possible and oppose it. You had sometimes the issue of Karora. The reason why I'm posting it, Mark, those are our water catchment features. They act as our water catchment features. We do not need to destroy them. They are naturally, and that's why we have rain in the country and we enjoy that climatic change. And somebody once said that it is only in Kenya whereby you can enjoy 7 different climatic change. From Naivasha, you go to Nairobi coastal Nyanza, northern eastern. If you move like me, I travel a lot. I do have the problem of climate. Sometimes it disturbs me a lot because of the nature of the country. We have different climatic regions. Some areas are extremely cold, some areas are extremely hot, some areas are calm, some areas are wet. It depends. Like me, for the last months I've been suffering. I told about the issue. I came from a cold place to an extremely hot place. That's how I survived the country. That's a clear indication that this country, those catchment areas like water catchment, are very vital for this country, and they are very useful for the country because all of us do depend on the agriculture. We depend on agriculture, one of the basic features that help the country economically. Even the internal consumption of the food, we depend on so much. We don't import much of our consumption. That's why, remember the issue of Makobura. Mau forest, when Raila went there, tried to protect Mau again. They were saying Raila is removing people. And the issue of Mau even emerged to be a political context. And they even went to the people of Rift Valley and blackmailed Raila about Mau. They paid the name that Ujamaa anataka kutoa watu Mau. Currently, Mau is benefiting who? The people. And they have really appreciated Raila for going there and plant trees while he was the prime minister. And even right in the last years, when we have Mazingira days, people have moved to Mau and plant more trees. That's why we should protect our forest. We should protect our water catchment areas, because we are benefiting because our forefathers or our ancestors and ancestresses protected them. We should protect them for the future generation. We should not love ourselves. We should even love our future generation. Those people will come to this country after us. We can leave for them a better country that they will enjoy even after we have gone. That's why we should protect it, and we should not. Right now, it can look be unpopular thing. The way that time Raila was going to protect Mau, it was very unpopular, politicized to move to the country. But later, it is a good move for because right at that time people were encroaching Mau and they were doing economical activities. They were burning charcoal and they were selling it. They were doing it, carrying that they were selling charcoal and they were paying school fees, but they were not considering future generation. That's what we want to do as a country. Let us consider the people. That's why each and every time we don't need to destroy this country. That's why when we went to violence, let us always try to avoid violence at all means. And that's not, and because whenever we destroy this country, it's going to affect not only us, but the future people. Let us maintain it because this is the only country we have. There's no other homeland. It is only Kenya. Back to you, Makubura.
Okay, thank you. I also support the move by like-minded that forest needs to be protected, and anything that is, positively contributing to our climate, the climate change, then I think that is something we need to look into. And as a people, we need to stand firm and protect our forest reserves. We need to protect our environment. We need to remind those who are in leadership that they have a mandate to also ensure that they protect the forest reserves. Because if it was not protected by our forefathers, then today we will not have a country to live, we will not have a good environment, we will not have a green environment, we will not have water catchments. And the issue of drought is something that has been contributed by the deforestation that we've been seeing in the country. So it is a good thing that we need to remind those people with ill motives that maintaining and protecting reserves, especially the forest reserves, is something that we really need to look into. Kenya has been one of the best countries who has been in forefront fighting for all this, for afforestation and all those things. So it is good to continue with that spirit, and anyone who really wants to deviate, whether it is the president, whether it is the minister, I think they need to be called out. And there's nothing good, the issue of greed that we are seeing in the Republic of Kenya, that when someone sees a piece of land, they just want to grab, whether it is whether it is for public or private. The issue of grabbing land is what is really going to mess us, and we need to get to a point where we are going to cure this greed for land. Yeah, so that is a good thing, and we need to fight so that we ensure that we have our forest and they remain assets for our country. Mr. Miguda, I don't know if you are still there. I want us to get to something else that is really affecting the people of Kenya.
Yeah,
The issue of doctors. They are planning for strike, and the KMPDU officials, they've called for a strike that is supposed to start on 22nd midnight, and that all the hospitals, according to them, should be shut, and that any service from doctors would not be received. And my question to you is, this is not the first time that you're seeing doctors strike. This year alone, they have striked. We thought that they had an agreement with the government and that they sorted whatever problems they had. We are surprised to see them again. Just the other day, the interns were also there. And probably we are getting to, next year, early next year, in few weeks, we'll be getting to January. There's a possibility that we'll also see teachers strike again. And my question to you is, at this time, this is, we are in December, and we are getting into a week where Christians really, a very essential week for the Christians. And now the doctors are saying they're going for strike, and there would be movement and those many things. The people of the Republic of Kenya would actually need or require the services of the doctors. What is really happening with the government and the conversations and the CBOs that they've been having with the doctors that has really not materialized, that has really not sorted, the pleas and the cries of the doctors? Why is it that we're in a country where people converse today and then the following day, whatever the agreement they had, they come out saying that there's nothing that has been looked into, there's nothing that have, it is promises and promises, and what is your take? What is really happening?
Doctor strikes have been there from time immemorial. This is not the first regime that are going to face doctor strike. They're not going to face doctor strike for the first time. Uhuru faced it, Kibaki faced it. It has been there. The problem has always been misrepresentation. Doctors has never been represented with the people who they are, all their leaders. Whenever even that CBO was drafted, but there was misrepresentation, because even it's a question which has been at stake. Why is it that it has been coming on and on and on? Why can't they deal with it once and for all? That's why I do the word misrepresentation. The people who are there should go and meet the government and they deal with that issue once and for all. We don't want a scenario whereby in a year, doctors are striking like thrice in a year. That is not good, because patients' lives matter. And we are in the critical month. You understand, this month is very critical. We are being given advice that do not drink and drive. Drive safely. There are many notices we are being given, even when you go to nightclubs, when you go to night outs. There are many, you are being told to be cautious. People are driving carelessly, moving with objects like guns, knives. People are at risk this month, you understand? And people do have many injuries. That's why you are being given notice to take cautious. What about if they are, and if actually those are accidents and emergencies, and you lack doctors in hospitals, and there are going to be many accidents and emergencies, though we don't wish accidents and emergencies to happen, but it has been there. It is something that is customary. We expect those people to be given urgent care and urgent treatment because they deserve it. Is within their right to be given treatment whenever they have suffered an injury. It's very unfortunate for the country that whenever we are going to face so many critical injuries, or we are going to face so many emergencies treatment, is when doctors have given green light that they are going to strike. We should deal with the issue of representation. We should find the rightful people to represent doctors whenever they're being represented. This issue of misrepresentation is what is going to even affect just strike. We have talked about strike coming next year. Because whenever there is even new leadership, they are being compromised. Once you have been compromised as an individual or as a section of people at the expense of many people in that society, or as expense of teachers or doctors, it is going to work against. But the critical part of it is that the patients' lives. And they say that whenever doctors are on strike, they should not send patients away. They should just treat patients. The strike should be on. They said at the same time, the patient's life should be taken care of. They should treat them. They should consider them, because we don't need to lose lives because people are on strike. The strike should just be on. Not that we're opposing that strike. We support it, but they should take consideration of the patients' lives, how they're going to treat patients, or are going to manage patients for that period of time. That's how we can sort this issue of doctors, patients, relationships, or doctors, government, patients relationship. They are like the circle: government, patients, doctors. Because the patient must be treated, the patient must get services. The doctors must also be paid because they are offering services to the Kenyan citizens. The government also must ensure that the lives of citizens do not go into loss because of things like strike, because they must protect that life through doctors. That these circles must work hand in hand to ensure that Kenyan people have better, other than better facilities like advanced dispensaries, level 4s, level 5, like centers for treating chronic or diseases, centers for treating emergency and accidents, having modern and advanced facilities, having HDIU in each and every sub-location, having those machines, those advanced ones. Other than those facilities and infrastructure, let them also ensure that the persons of the people operating those machines, even those who have done medical engineering, they have not been taken into consideration. Those who have done medicines, they should, even those who have done nursing as course, they should be given a very good payment, or a very good facilitation whereby they can take care of the lives of the Kenyan people. Because at the end of the day, it is Kenyan people. Because doctors are Kenyan people, patients are Kenyan people, and that government also belongs to the Kenyan people. It's a government of the Kenyan people. Then you can have a very good and advanced levels in each and every sub-county. And also we must give them payment, good payment. It's not only doctors, even dentists, because it's more of a KMPDU. All of them are going for strike as KMPDU, not only doctors, dentists, nurses, whoever is going to work. Therefore, that is my view, Makobura, and it's a very serious matter, and we need to call it out as a nation, because even if we are not victims, even if you are not patients, but Kenyans are patients, our relatives are patients, our families are patients, our neighbors are patients, Kenyan people are patients. That's why we should call it out as Kenyan people, and we should allow the government to facilitate that relationship, and it should be a smooth one. The issue of teachers going to strike, we are sensing it, but it has not been confirmed. And what can contribute to it? It can be more of a parents, teachers, plus students, because of infrastructure. In public schools, there are no infrastructure for those people who depend on public schools. For those parents who are unfortunate, they depend on public school, and they are the majority. And also students who depend on the public school, and the majority. Those ones, they can be strike on opening day, because there will be no infrastructure for them to study or for them to be. And like those people, there's going to be more of a conflict between the private and the public, because private as concern, and I told you previously, just take a walk in Nakuru County, private schools. With them, they are good to go. Even they have fully implemented that CBC, that from junior secondary school up to senior secondary school, they are good to go. But what about the public schools? Those are the majority of the people of Kenya. And those parents whose kids are in public schools are the ones who are voting. They're the people who usually turn out to vote. Those in private school, most of them do not vote. Government should ensure that they consider the issue of doctors and the issue of teachers.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Migoda. To our viewers, this is Brother Benson Media, and here you say that your opinion counts. If you're new here, kindly like and subscribe to the channel, because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us, and we'll really appreciate. We implore you to also, share the link or share about our channel with your friends or relative, so that we can grow and become a big family. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you. Special thank you to Judith Karetha, Brenda Obedi, Laban Misiani, Gypsy Kona, and who else? One Dem 99, asante sana kwa kukuja kukuwa na sisi. Eric Ayaga, asante sana, you are with us. We really appreciate. Joyce Anthony, asante sana. Thank you so much. Everyone who engaged us at the comment section, we really appreciate. Those of you who are also watching, maybe you never commented, we really say thank you. Thank you so much. And we are requesting you that if you find time, kindly do join us, so that when we're having these conversations, you can also give us your opinion. And through that opinion, we can shape. Our main intention is actually coming up with solutions and talking about issues which are affecting our country, pointing out anything that we feel is not okay. Hatuko hapa kupingana na mtu mmoja ama kupinga serikali ama opposition. We're just giving our thoughts. And here we say that your opinion counts. You can also give your opinion at the comment section, or we do share the link. You can always join via the link and have a discussion. You can be part of the panelist. Mr. Migoda, I'll give you a chance to give your last remarks before we close the show.
Thank you, Makobura. Thank you for hosting the show. And thank you for Brother Benson, who has left Ayaga for coming to the show. To our viewers, we appreciate you for your time very much. We appreciate you very much, and also we would like to tell those people watching us for the first time and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's how you can support this channel. You can sometimes give us thumbs up, comment in the comment section. As well, we have ads videos, you can watch them. See you next time. Bye, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Megoda. I also want to remind our viewers that we are in a month where we are, to those of supporters who are Christians, we are in a month where we're going to remember the birth of Christ. And, when we are remembering the birth of Christ, all we are called to do as a Christian is to show love, to your neighbor, to show love to your friends, anyone around you. And if you have any way of supporting people, especially those who have nothing, wale ambao labda hawana kitu, hawana namna vile watakula hii Christmas, you can support. You can just support anyone. It is all about sharing love. And if you share love, if you put maybe a meal on people who are not able in their, on their table, it is something that is good. Na hivyo ndivyo tunafundishwa hapa kwa Christianity, that we need to support one another. So kindly reach out to any friends, any people, anybody around, at home, in the village. Just help those who are unable to find something, and it would be aware of sharing love. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much to our viewers, those who are supporting us. We really, really appreciate. And tumeanza pia kuwa wish Merry Christmas in advance. But we'll always be coming with these shows every day. We'll try our level best to maintain. I want to take this opportunity to wish you all a blessed night. If you are within, if you're somewhere else, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. See you tomorrow.